Welcome back. Charleston Southern University tackles racism and prejudice through music, dialogue, and spoken word. Catch CSU's performance of You've Got to Be Carefully Taught at Piccolo Spoleto. We welcome Thomas Keating and Dr. Jennifer Luiken from CSU's theater and music departments with all of the details. Guys, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more about what this show is about.
Well, it kind of came about because Thomas and I had been talking about our students and racial relations amongst them on the campus, and then everything that happened with last summer here in Charleston sort of spurred us on to really tackle this. There's a song actually from a musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein called You've Got to Be Carefully Taught, and the words of the song talk about how we're taught to think about people from the time we're very young. And so as we were thinking about how people had responded to the events in Charleston last year and how we wanted to talk with our students about how better to respond to each other as people, we began discussing how to put this show together.
So the two of you put it together and
along with
wrote
the
it and everything, along with the students.
Right, the themes are from the musical South Pacific, which the title comes from that song, You've Got to Be Carefully Taught. But we got together with our students of varying races and backgrounds, and through many challenging discussions, we were able to sift through some difficult subject matter that we bring to light, and we infuse the show with several top-notch Broadway-type songs.
I imagine those conversations you said were difficult with a diverse group to sit, so you would just take notes after these conversations of like, this is something we need to have in the show?
We did some recording of our conversations. We also took a ton of notes. There were probably 4 or 5 students that were not in the show itself that were just jotting down ideas, and then we would kind of go back and say, hey, what did we say a second ago? And then we would make decisions about whether that was a topic as a whole that should be in the show, or whether specific words that were uttered by the students made it into the show. And it's pretty interesting how a lot of the dialogue was spoken by the individual students who end up saying it in the play.
Was it hard to maneuver? I imagine a lot of it was very sensitive to maneuver with these students.
It was very sensitive, but I think that the thing that we tried to create within the room was a very safe environment, and we said from the get-go that there's nothing that you can say in this room that is off the table. So, I mean, it gave students license to sort of bring up those things that they had thought about each other, even from childhood. And then the other side, which we were very careful too about trying to avoid the idea of sides. Like there's no one right side, wrong side here. We're just bringing all of the issues to light and trying to get things out in the open. Bringing things to light is a big part of that, and I think once things are out, then you can talk about, is this true, is this not true?
What will someone, well, I imagine there's a lot to be gained from this performance, but when we go, what can we expect to see or feel afterwards even?
There are going to be moments that are going to be uncomfortable. It kind of starts with discontent. But what I was about to say before you asked the question was we're trying to get people to really move forward and leave a lot of the hurt and pain behind and really have the opportunity to heal. So people can take away, I think, a sense of hope and a sense of desire to love one another in a bigger way, more so than in a selfish manner. And that way, perhaps, through our interactions with others, we can actually heal our city and our nation of this kind of really old problem.
So eloquently said. So where do we get tickets? Where do we get more information?
If you go to piccoloSpoleto.com, there's easy access there. You'll have to search through the theater events. And our show is You've Got to Be Carefully Taught. Saturday at 4 and Monday at 8 at the Footlight Players Theater, 20 Queen Street, downtown Charleston.
And you can go to piccoloSpoleto.com. I know briefly we're running out of time, but you guys have other performances as well?
There are a number of CSU folks involved in the festival, and I would just encourage them to go to the Piccolo Spoleto website and look up those events, because we're all over.
Thank you guys. Such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
You've got to be carefully taught. Look forward to the show. Again, go to piccoloSpoleto.com for all information and tickets. And again, it kicks off this Saturday, May 28th. And we've got more Lowcountry Live in just a moment.